trying something a little different. I saw this video by this Sam guy on YouTube who is mostly a bodybuilder, but he does these lifestyle videos, and it's kind of like vlogging, but different enough and unique enough that it's really just like some guy and you're hanging out with him for a while and you're talking to him for a while. And so try a different pace and see how that goes. I'm going to take us out to this secret forest space that I know and just kind of talk about stuff, because it's nice to have people to talk to, and it's nice to talk to people, and we'll just kind of go in from there. It's the middle of the fall, trying to just get ready for the holidays, really. I've got this really nice dessert that I'm gonna try and make. It's a apple pie stuffed cream, nope, it's an apple pie stuffed cheesecake, and I was just doom scrolling on Facebook when I found the recipe, and I like to think that I'm pretty good in the kitchen, so go ahead and just start working towards making that. And I'll probably make a video on that, honestly. The food videos that I make do get a decent amount of attention, so maybe I should do more of that, more food videos. I'm making these, like, I'm going to call them dinner rolls, essentially, but they are they're from a bao recipe. And so I bought this Pokemon cookbook because I really like Pokemon, and I'm a nerd like that, and I really like cooking as well. And there's some interesting stuff in that cookbook, and so I bought this Pokemon cookbook and was trying multiple recipes out of it, and one of the recipes was a bao recipe, and I really like bao and have been wanting to try to make it for a while. So I got all my stuff together, made the dough, only to discover that my steam basket that I had was not big enough for the pot that I have. And so because of that, I then had to just bake the bao, which didn't kind of give me the texture that I wanted, but it did give me like these really good like dinner rolls, honestly. Like I filled them with teriyaki chicken and cabbage at the time, which was fine. It tasted really good. But for Thanksgiving this year, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to do that same recipe, but I'm going to do it just as dinner rolls. I'm not going to put anything inside of it. So I've got that going on. Going to make that up for the family. And then on top of that, I think I'm going to make this new dessert that I saw when I was doom scrolling on Facebook, like I was talking about earlier. It's an apple pie stuffed cheesecake. And so like the person on Facebook was kind of lame. They didn't really share the recipe, which some people are like that, I guess. You just don't want to share your recipes. You don't want to share with the world what you're working on. But so I, of course, went to the internet to try and find it and see what I could figure out. There was just like a 3-wheeled tractor that just passed me. That was odd. But anyway, so yeah, going to the internet to try and figure out how to make this. And basically you just like make a cheesecake and you make apple pie filling and you put it together and it makes this really delicious dessert. And so I'm going to try that out. I'm going to use white Oreos for the graham cracker crust instead of graham crackers proper. I really like trying different kinds of things for like the graham cracker crust, so to speak. It's really easy to make, and basically anything that's crunchy and yummy you can use to build that crust with. And so the lady on Facebook, I saw that she put a crumb topping on her apple pie, or on her apple cheesecake pie thing, and she used those white Oreos on it. And so I was like, okay, like let me take this recipe and let me take these white Oreos from that recipe and kind of combine them together. I commonly do that, really. I like to call it Frankensteining, and whenever I'm like building a recipe or I want to try something out, I'll take bits and pieces from multiple recipes that I've tried out to try and see just like what exactly I can make out of it. And I feel like it turns out pretty good. A lot of people seem to enjoy the stuff that I make, and I enjoy making it. And of course, it's nice to have people try the food and then they enjoy it when they try it. So all in all, like cooking is a really good experience. I enjoy doing it. It's like a different form of creation, if you will. So this is a really like long form way of me saying that I'll probably be making like more cooking videos. And so like this really, honestly just feels like glorified like vlogging. I don't know. We'll see if this is something that y'all are liking and are interested in, and I can certainly keep doing it if that's cool. My microphone, I have this wireless microphone. It was like $80. I thought it was really nice, but a lot of people tell me that it sounds kind of crappy, and so if my microphone sounds like doo-doo, let me know that too, and I can like get a better mic and commit some more time and effort into these kinds of videos. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of nice. It's really just like filming your everyday life, and like it's astonishing to me that people would be interested in it. But like maybe if what you're talking about is interesting to them, then I could see why that makes sense. So like the Sam guy that I'm modeling this off of, he is a fitness guru. He's like this giant, massive man. He's like a boulder mountain of a human being, and he does like lifestyle videos, and he'll do like bodybuilding and like weightlifting and all of that. And like I can see like if that's your kind of content and if that's the thing that you enjoy, that you would enjoy just kind of watching and hanging out with this guy for a couple hours. Because that was the other thing. Like, so I was watching, I think it was vidIQ, and I watch those guys every now and again in an effort to try and keep up with the market and see what's going on. And they were thinking that these kind of broken down, lesser videos, if you will, might be like the new trend on YouTube. And so I'm, trend hopping. That's what we do until we can establish ourselves. But honestly, I kind of like it. Like I said, it's less stressful. It feels less fake. Like the whole over the top being 9,000% of yourself whenever you're on the internet or behind the camera, it doesn't feel genuine. And I think people, especially in the internet age, are missing out on having a genuine connection with somebody. I don't know, like when I go back and edit this, will I cut to like different scenes? Will I splice things in? I don't know. Right now I'm still driving to my super secret spot, and so until I get there, I'm just kind of filling the void. But like, I guess maybe the full journey is what people like to see, because there's the old adage of like it's not the prize, it's the journey to get there. I butchered that so horribly, but I think you guys are getting what I'm trying to say. It's not like the finish line, but like the journey you took to get there, whatever. I'm saying it horribly, but at any rate, maybe that's the appeal to this kind of content, is like you enjoy seeing the in-between stuff that was cut, because nobody's life can be 900% excitement 100% of the time. And so seeing people and just connecting with people who are just being people and being themselves is maybe possibly a better experience than what you all are used to seeing. Now, the other thing with this Sam guy is he posts like every day, and he posts like 30 to 45, sometimes even like 50, upwards of an hour-long videos. And to me, like, I can't imagine watching something for that long. But that's why he's like popular on YouTube, is because YouTube loves it when people stay on their platform and can be on their platform for a long time. And so like if he's making videos and people are stopping by and they're watching for a while, then yeah, I mean, that makes total sense. So maybe I can kind of capture on that as well, talk about the weird life things that I have going on, talk about the desserts I plan on making for Thanksgiving. What kind of desserts are you guys gonna make for Thanksgiving? It's kind of corny, but hit them up in the comments. Let me know what y'all are making. You got some cool family recipes you're looking forward to, something new you want to try? I try and do a dish and a dessert anytime we do a holiday meal. I'm the only like single person with no kids in the family, and so I try to like do my part as best I can to contribute, whether that be like clean up or cooking or bringing a dish or whatever. I feel like a slob if I just come over and eat your food. So excited to try new recipes, hoping that they turn out well, people enjoy them. I'm pulling up on my super secret spot, so I'm gonna have to kill the camera for a while until I can get back down into the wilderness. I'll see you guys here in a couple minutes, or it'll be like a split second when I get done editing. So yeah. All right, here we are, back to my super secret forest getaway. I've got dueling cameras going on right now because I'm trying to film some nice wildernessy scenes from my phone that I can use on like TikTok and Instagram and all those places, and see what I can get there. It's the fall. I love the fall. The weather is perfect right now. It is 60s and sunny, and I always say that is my perfect weather conditions. And I entered my super secret forest. Ow, goodness gracious, about to fall over. I entered my super secret forest place from a different angle. I haven't seen it like this in a while. There's a fallen tree there. That looks kind of fun to explore. There's kind of a lot of fallen trees here. Spent a lot of times down here, so to speak, and then I've not spent a lot of times down here. Like, it's been years since I've been here, and then it's not been years. And at any rate, it's always a nice little place to visit. I like the environment of being out in nature. I recently got on Reddit in an effort to try and promote myself a little better, and there is a Reddit feed, I think it calls itself like nature porn or something like that, and it's just these glorious nature scenes that you can't get anywhere else, and I love it. And so, like, I'm trying to contribute what I can to it. It's really hard to see because of the glare against my viewfinder, but just find a really awesome spot to sit down and be in nature for a while and record myself just talking to you guys and interacting and just being a general human being, and see if this method is something that is well liked or well received. But like, this tree looks like it has really had a tough break, so to speak. It broke there at the root, and it's just fallen down here. So I might try and set up a location on this tree here and use it as a seat, and just kind of talk to you guys, like, what do we got going on other than my baked goods and all that fun stuff. And life is a busy, wonderful thing. It keeps us busy in wonderful, imaginative ways, and hoping that we can keep our life going in a good way. I'm gonna take this camera and try and figure out a way to sit it down somewhere and give you guys a real cool view here. I'm on top of the tree now. You can see I'm on top of the tree. And there's some more fallen trees. I always say I want to go out and like deer hunt and stuff with friends. I got a lot of friends who do that, and it's not, I don't think, the hunting so much that excites me, just the idea of being out in nature, which is odd because, like, for the longest time I didn't much care for nature, and I didn't really go out there all that often. I still really don't. A lot of my hobbies are all indoor hobbies, and I enjoy them a lot, but I should also like get out and be out in the world and embrace it a little more. I need to stop getting distracted and talk to you guys about whatever we need to talk about. Ooh. This is the second time that I have nearly fallen whilst filming this video, so let's avoid any more of those. Let's see about, I think I found a spot that I can set it up. I think I might set you guys up right there, and then you'll be looking at me from like over here. Makes sense? We'll see how this goes. So, I bought this new tripod, and it was a pretty nice tripod, or at least I thought it was a nice tripod, and then it like broke like very easily, and now I've got like one leg that doesn't move in unison with its other legs, so to speak, and so it doesn't always balance quite right. So let's see how that looks. Turn my viewfinder around. Here we go again, almost falling over. Everything's on a slant here. I think that's good. I think I can sit down over there and be featured prominently in the view. How does, ugh, that's not really a place I can comfortably sit though. Let's move the viewfinder, shall we? So I don't think that's gonna work. Oh, nope, that's not gonna balance though. Gotta have balance. If the tripod falls over, then I can't do anything. What are we looking at right now? I feel like we can see enough. And maybe I'm mistaken. Like, I don't know, can you see me now? I don't know. But this is the best place to sit, realistically speaking. And just kind of, like I said, talk about what's on my mind. I had the most random thought last night, and I feel like we all have these random thoughts that we think about. But I was thinking about like mainstream movies and like their exposure to nudity, so to speak. And like I feel like this was something that happened a lot more often like back in the 70s and 80s with like nudity and like actual like big production films. I feel like we've gotten away from that in recent years. And like the idea is like the hierarchy thereof. So like just roll with me here for a little bit, but like what form of nudity in actual film has been seen more often than others, so to speak? So like obviously I think like the good old-fashioned like shirtless guy, that's the one that you go and you see it all the time. And I don't even know that I would consider that like proper nudity, but like in case there's someone out there that wants to consider that, like yeah, that's definitely like the most commonly seen. And then like kind of going down the hierarchy from there, so like what's the next most commonly seen? And I would say like butts are probably the next most commonly seen, male or female. They show a lot of butts in movies. And like generally speaking, even though that like I consider that to be like a form of nudity, it's a pretty mild like form of nudity. People seem pretty willing to share that information with the world without too much troubles. And then so obviously like, so you've eliminated the, well I guess no, we still have like topless women, like boobs. I think that would be like the next in the hierarchy situation. And like I said, once again, like I feel like they showed that a lot in like the 1970s and 1980s, and we've kind of gotten away from it, but I feel like you see that still like more commonly than not. And so like yeah, the hierarchy would be like shirtless dudes, butts of any kind, and then boobs. And then so like what's next? What's the next thing that you see most often in like film, so to speak? And like I think so like I guess the question is, we're down to like to the peewees and the holes. And so like which one do you see the most often? And like I feel like I've seen more peewees than holes, but like you don't see either of them very often, especially in like actual productions and not like in the X-rated adult films. And so like from the hierarchy from there, like which one falls next though? Is it a peewee or is it the hole? Like I can think of 2 films that I've seen peewees in, and I can think of 1 film that I've seen a hole in. And so like, and I mean, maybe I'm not the greatest person for this question anyway. I don't honestly watch that many movies. It was just a thought that popped up in my head, you know, one of those random thoughts when you're thinking about a million different things and all the things that we think about. And I was like, you know what? I wonder the hierarchy of nudity in movies. That's the kind of weird stuff that 28-year-old males think about, apparently. And so yeah, I would probably say the full hierarchy would be like the shirtless man, butts of any kind, boobs, and then probably peewees, and then holes would be last. I think it's very rare that you see a hole. But yeah, that was just the random thought that I had last night. This is all relatively new, and I'm hoping that eventually I get more comfortable and I stop saying and like and using all my filler words, and that I can just be so eloquent and converse with you guys like you're just like right here with me. But we're getting there. But realistically speaking, like just all the weird things that we think about on a day-to-day basis, and like why do we think about them, and then who are we talking them over with, and are we talking over them with anyone, or are we just talking to ourselves? Talking to yourself gets such a bad rep, but I honestly kind of like it. I talk to myself quite frequently, and one of the things that someone always would say when people tease them about talking to themselves, they'd say like it was the best conversation they had all day, and I always kind of thought that was a clever way to respond to that. But I think like I don't know why it gets such a bad rep. Like it's a healthy way to think through your problems and your like if you're thinking through things, all the things that we think throughout just on a 24-hour day alone, all the thoughts that cross our mind and the things that we want to say or need to do, and like talking it through with yourself, I feel like is a healthy way to do that. I would like to see like the scientific reasoning behind why it gets such a bad rep, or is it not something scientific at all? Are people just being facetious and they're like, oh, you shouldn't talk to yourself because you sound like a crazy person? Or like, are they being legit? Like crazy people are the only people who talk to themselves? Because I got news for you, I'm a loco in mi cabeza if that's the case. But like I said, it helps me to filter through my thoughts and to just get through everything. And like I cannot say enough how nice of a day it is. This fall weather is truly something that just needs to be taken in. My camera went down a couple months back when I took it out in a rainstorm, and I feel like it has not really ever come back fully to life since then. And so like I'm gonna need to invest in another camera soon, but I'm hoping that this one can like capture the wonders of what we're seeing here and just make it kind of like a nature adventure and just life, you know? Like I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm just spewing out my conscious thread of thought into a video and trying to make something important or impactful out of it, or at least like entertaining, I don't know, something worth listening to for however long it's been at this point in time. Like that Sam guy made videos that were like half an hour to 45 minutes, and I feel like I'm pretty direct and to the point. Like when I have something to say, I say it and I get it out of the way, and then I move on to whatever the next thing is. And it's really hard for me to drag out conversations for half an hour, 45 minutes, 50 minutes, whatever it is. But like to the same end when I'm actually talking to someone, and then I can just ramble on for hours. Like I was talking to a friend last night over Xbox, and I was like running this idea past him, and I was like, what do you think? Do you think it's something that people would even give a crap about and like would do anything with? And he seemed favorable about it, and he was teasing me because I was like, I don't know that I can just sit and talk for that long. Do I have enough stuff to talk about? And like I'm pretty direct and to the point. And he was like, dude, like we've been in an Xbox party for like 2.5 hours, and I'm pretty sure you've done like 80% of the talking. And I was like, okay, like you have a point there. I guess I can talk and keep people's interest going for a long enough amount of time. And so that's just really what we're trying to do here. Enjoy some nice fall weather, some cool scenery, and keep the videos rolling, and just kind of make it a day-to-day thing, and just the random thoughts that float through my head and everything that I have to say about those thoughts, and just feeling it out. And like, let's have a conversation. Like post something in the comments and I'll comment back, and I don't foresee myself getting millions of comments on anything anytime soon. And so I've always been like prided myself on like, if you're one of those people who take the time to like say something good about my work, then I will take the time out of my day to make sure that I am responding to that, because I respect your time, and like it takes time to sit down and like think of a thoughtful response and to leave a thoughtful response. So it only makes sense that I would engage with that. And I always thought that was kind of the beauty of social media, really. Like there's a lot of bad things that social media has, and it spawns a lot of like horrific things, but like there is a lot of good that comes out of it too. The amount of people that you can reach through social media is endless. Like there's almost no other way to reach this amount of people in such a short amount of time without social media. And the other thing is it gets you a lot closer to the celebrities, so to speak. Like, people will view the person on the other screen, especially if they view them quite highly, they will view them as a form of celebrity, but it's a different kind of celebrity. Like, a movie star still, even in social media, is very untouchable. Like, you could follow The Rock on Instagram, but it doesn't necessarily make you feel any closer to The Rock. Like, it makes you feel closer to The Rock than you did maybe perhaps when you weren't following on Instagram, but it's different with just like an everyday creator who actually interacts with their community, because then you really do feel like you're a part of that person's life. You feel like you're a part of their adventure, and you're a part of the things that they're doing and what they're putting out. And so that's why I always thought that it was a powerful tool as a creator on social media to make sure that you're engaging with your fans and engaging with your crowd and engaging with anybody who engages with you, because that is like the one thing that it has that like other media does not. Like, I can go out and make an amazing cartoon, which, by the way, is in the works. I'm working with animators from the school here and hoping to get like the pilot episode made, get some character designs made, get a pitch deck put together, and then I might seriously start going down the route of like pitching my show to like Netflix and other people who might pick it up and turn it into something amazing. But like, that's the beauty of social media, kind of dialing that back to where this conversation was supposed to be going, is like, so with social media, you can interact with and be a part of the content. But like, if I'm just somebody whose name is in the credits of this cartoon that you watched, like, you feel incredibly disconnected with that. You might be connected with the characters that I've created through that show, but you're not connected to me, so to speak. And so that's what I always thought was one of the biggest benefits of social media, and something that really is like making impacts in this world that just like did not exist prior. And so like, understanding those tools and using them to the best of your ability and trying to really get somewhere is honestly what I think is pretty, like, it's a wonderful thing. Like, yes, social media is not all good, but it's not all bad either. And I feel like that's kind of a sentiment that could be given to a lot of things, that it's not all good, nor is it all bad. It's just, it exists, and it is what you make of it. And you can make it this horrible, awful thing where you doom scroll into infinity, or you can make it this thing where you like propel and make yourself better about it. Like, the things that I'm filming and the things that I'm putting out there are things that I wouldn't normally do, obviously. Like, and I certainly wouldn't do it if social media didn't exist. Like, I wouldn't be out here just filming a video and then what? Like, you hand out VHS tapes to the world and hope that people watch them and are like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, when it's really just the ramblings of a madman. So essentially, like, yeah, I don't know, social media, it's like not awful but not great. It is what it is, and it is what you make of it. And I feel like a lot of people don't take proper ownership in the things that they do, or who they are, or where they are in their lives. And it's very easy to dismiss it as like a product of your upbringing or a product of the world. And like, I am 1000% for sure, like, the world is not built for you to exist outside of the system that it has built for you. But like, you can still exist outside of that system. You just need to put the immense amount of effort into doing so, which is something that I've been fortunate enough to be able to do. But like, not very many people are either fortunate or determined enough to do it, and so they're just stuck in these ruts, and they blame social media and they're doom scrolling for why they're in these terrible places. And it's like, that's not really a valid reason. It's just the easy thing to do or to say to keep from facing the reality and the facts of the situation. And a lot of people really should face those facts sooner rather than later. And I don't really know how a conversation about the hierarchy of nudity in movies and films divulged into like this rant about social media, but like, here we are. and I'm kind of reaching like a comfortable stopping point in my rant. I honestly have no idea for how long I've been talking at this point. I'll have to go look at my camera and see, because like I said, the goal was to reach that half an hour. Well, really for myself is like I'd be lucky if I could get like 20 minutes out of this, but like the goal is to reach that half hour to an hour sweet spot that Sam was reaching on YouTube, because people were just eating his content up, and YouTube just loves this guy to death for it. And so it's like, you know, if you don't hate this and you want to eat it up, then do so. And if you do hate it and you don't want to eat it up, I guess I'll see when no one watches it, and that's just where we go with it. But yeah, that's where we are, trying to, it's almost like well, I compared it to vlogging earlier. It's like it's a more realistic vlog, a less exciting vlog, if you will, but it's also kind of like a podcast. Like I know, so when I was watching that video from vidIQ, a lot of the comments were just saying like it was nice to just put that on in the background and listen to it while they were doing whatever they were doing. And so it's almost like a podcast, really, like a visual podcast, but like you're mostly just listening to what the person's saying. You're not paying too much attention to what's on the screen at that point. A lot of Dan Koh's videos are like that for me as well. Like I like watching his videos. I think he has solid advice, and like I'll legit like watch his videos and take notes on them. I'm a nerd like that. But for the most part, like Dan Koh, like I could just listen to the guy talk and learn something from it, and I wouldn't even need to watch the video, so to speak. I used to watch his videos every day at lunch when I first got my promotion, and then I started just kind of listening to them because like my lunches became more and more scarce. But yeah, no, and so it's like I get the appeal of the content. Like I said, it's almost like a podcast or you're just listening to the person, but it's like there's the visual aspect of it as well. The vidIQ, I don't remember this guy's name, but they brought out another guy who was like an older gentleman who sat out in his farm and just like talked about life, and like so many people who have so many years under their belt have so much wisdom that they can share, and I think that like we as younger people could like benefit from just taking that all in. And there's like so much to be taken in, and all you have to do is just benefit from taking it in. And so hopefully my nonsensical conversations can be of some use to you, and hopefully it's something that you can turn on in the background and just watch and kind of lose your mind to it. And if it's not and it's absolutely egregious, that's fine. I'll keep on keeping on with this whole YouTube game until I find my niche, so to speak. And like that's always the difficult thing, is like finding your way on any of these platforms, because like realistically speaking, like there is some really unique ideas out there. Like all the time I see people and I'm like, dang, I wish I had come up with that. There's this random dude on Instagram, his name is Kason Smith, I think, and he does like puns of or related to music. And so like when the song Flowers by Miley Cyrus was big, he made this video where he like had a snippet of the song where it's like, I could buy myself flour, and then he went to the store and like bought a bag of flour. And it's stupid stuff like that, but it's funny and it's entertaining and it gets tons of views. And so it's like I wish that I could find my way in that. And like I've been doing these nature talks now for a good while, and really hoping that these nature talks like eventually become something. And maybe like the biggest thing is consistency for me. Is my problem is like I am bouncing from idea to idea so often and so frequently that it's very difficult for me to stay consistently with something long enough to give it the shot that it's due. I'm hoping to get a bunch of these like banked up and built up, and then once my audiobook is done doing its thing, I can then go ahead and drop these and just make it a daily release. And like if I can do a daily release for 365 days, that'll probably be my New Year's resolution going into 2024. Can I do 365 videos back to back to back to back to back like that? That seems like a very daunting task, but we're going to give it a go. And like I said, just keep on keeping on until something takes off, because I feel like it's just a matter of time for me. And I feel like this is a good way to go, a good stepping stone, a way to get out of that 9-to-5 grind. I'm already enough out of it that I'm not too worried about it, but it would just be nice to, like, as a writer, finally have like a following as well, because that's been going, and I'm proud of the stories that I'm putting out, and I honestly feel like every story I put out gets better and better, and my craft is constantly honing itself. And now I just have to find people who care enough about me to actually pick up the books and read them. I did the local fall festival here, and that was actually a really good turnout. I sold 6 books and gave away 17 bookmarks, and like the bookmarks that I design are like basically business cards. And so like it was like 17 leads with 6 sales, and that was really good. And so I'll probably like stick to the local market more so here, and then like use social media for more like of a global, like, hey, here I am, meet me and learn about me. And then maybe if you're interested, read some of my stuff, and if you're not, that's fine, you can just watch videos. That's why I put them here. But that's really been like the thing, like there is so much visual art out there, and I feel like it is a lot easier to have a visual art on social media than it is to have a written art. Like, it's boring to just sit and watch someone write a book, but like, how else do I do like progress on my books and stuff? Do I just like talk to you guys like I'm talking now and be like, hey, by the way, I wrote 1,200 words yesterday, and I'm X amount far along on this book, and I'm doing this. I just gave my newest novel to my editor. Well, I shouldn't say I just gave it to him. I gave it to him like a week ago, and I'm hoping to get some good editing back from that. That's honestly one of my favorite steps of the process, is like the first round of editing. So like you write the whole book, or at least for me, I write the whole book, and then I'll read through it myself to make sure I pick up any of the easy stuff that I don't need to pay somebody for, and then I send it out. And I have 2 editors. I have a content editor, and I have a sentence level editor, or a line level editor. And the line editor does like all the sentence level grammatical stuff, and then the content editor focuses mostly on the story, character progression, character arcs, all that good stuff. And so it's in the hands of my content editor right now, because my line editor was busy until the start of the year. But like, honestly, that's kind of my favorite part of the process, because you get fresh eyes on the content for the first time. Like, I've been the only person reading, writing, and experiencing this story for so long, and like to finally have someone else looking at it and giving me their thoughts, it's always like super exciting and like one of my favorite parts of the process. And so yeah, like this particular book is my first chance, or my first go around at literary fiction. I've heard a lot about it, and like fiction that explores the human psyche does sound like pretty darn exciting for me. But honestly, like typically I do like fantasy or like dystopias, stuff like that. Well, technically everything I've written has been its own genre. Well, not like its own, but it's been a different genre. Everything I've written has been a genre different from the last thing that I wrote. But like, for someone who's like more high concept fiction, to write something as down to earth as this current novel has been quite the experience. And like, I like to challenge myself, and so like, it's a book that's ultimately about like friendship and forming your own opinions, but like I formatted it as like a romance novel, and so it's like a friendship novel, but it feels like it's built with a romance novel structure, and it's got all these other things kind of going for it. I don't know, I think it's kind of interesting. I'm proud of it, and I know a lot of people give literary fiction a lot of flack, and they're like, oh my gosh, literary fiction is so boring, why would you ever read or write that? But it's a go, and like, you never know what book's gonna take off, and then if that one takes off, maybe I'll write more literary fiction, or maybe I'll continue writing whatever the heck I feel like writing. I don't know, but yeah, that's where we are. Like, just sitting in the forest, enjoying this wonderful fall weather. I can't say that enough. It is 60s and sunny today, and I need to get out and enjoy it more often. And this has been a wild ride, and I think that I'm gonna wrap it up this time. I keep getting off topic and being like, I'm gonna stop this video, but then I don't, which is good, I guess, because it means I have a lot to talk about. But yeah, this time for sure I'm gonna stop. So once again, the random thought of the day was the hierarchy of nudity in movies. And we had like the most common being like the shirtless guy, butts of all kind, and then the boobies, and then the peewees, and then the holes. So if you guys learn nothing else from my video, you can learn the hierarchy of nudity in films. Congratulations. And like, how long? I'm thinking like 22 minutes. Have I been talking to you guys for 22 minutes? That doesn't include the time in the car either. So like the car would add like another 10 minutes to it. Oh my gosh, it's been a half hour. I did pretty good.